Oliver Mweneake suffered through a terrible war in the Democratic Republic of Congo as a child. He finally escaped with his family, but couldn't forgive his parents for what seemed like their heartless abandonment of him and his sisters during the early days of the war. Oliver, you made it to a camp. You got reunited with your parents after 7 months of living on the street. What was that reunion like, and what was happening in your heart?
Well, the hard part of it was getting to a place where I can forgive my parents. I struggled so long when my mom came to me the first time, and I said, "You're not my mom. My mom couldn't have left me." And I said the same to my father. "If you were my father, for sure, you couldn't have left me." And I knew for sure they didn't intend to leave us because they wanted to, but because of war, they had to live for their lives. But it was so hard for me to get to a place where I could forgive them. And it took me so many years to come to a place where I could finally forgive them. And that came through prayers and also fasting. And then I got to a place where God just spoke to me literally, like, there's no way you can continue to experience my grace if you cannot extend the same grace to your parents. Like, that was the hard lesson I had to learn, because I was getting so bitter and angry, and it was hard.
We've been forgiven for so much, and yet we're the first to like hold a grudge against everyone else, right? And it's not right. If we're going to receive forgiveness, we have to give it. Tell me about like what bitterness was doing to you.
The many times I will not be able to sleep because I will see flashbacks of what was happening during the war coming back, and when that comes back, I'll be so angry towards my parents. There are times like I will throw stuff around the house, become so angry, and like I will have headaches, and then because of bitterness, because it was so bad.
Wow.
It's so serious to me. It had physical effect, and I could see that. And yet I still had a hard time to let it go, to just accept the fact I need to forgive my parents. And when I did forgive them, I took a step of faith. God said, okay, I can surrender this to him. Let me try him. And I did that, and I felt so much peace within myself. So forgiveness did way much more to myself than it did to my parents.
Yeah, it was for you, because there's that saying that says unforgiveness is like drinking poison, wishing the other person would die. It makes no sense. And it's so funny because studies are showing that health problems come from unforgiveness, and you experienced that.
I did.
And a change in your health, did that happen once you forgave?
It did happen, and I didn't have the problem of sleeping anymore, and the flashbacks, although I did receive some counseling, completely gone. And since then, I have never experienced any of those flashbacks in my life anymore.
What advice would you give to someone watching right now who's saying, I've tried to forgive, but I just can't get over it?
I think what I would say to people, and what I usually tell people, is forgiveness for us believers, it's a requirement. God commands us to do so, and we don't have to rely on our own strength to forgive. The Holy Spirit working in us is willing to give us the ability and the grace to be able to forgive others. And so please, just take a step of faith. Try it.
So good. You now are working in the same refugee camp that you were in, also in your country. Tell me about the work you're doing now.
So what we are doing now is we are inspiring young men and widows through educational sponsorship and empowering programs. So we are offering small loans to women, to widows, for them to be able to start some small businesses. And it's so nice to be able to give back, because so many people gave me back. I don't even know people who paid for my undergraduate. So someone sponsored my education. Someone sponsored me to come to Ghana. So being able to go back and give to the people the same hope that someone gave me is just like life-changing. And we can all do that. That's what I see. The way God works in our lives is that we can bring that hope to others. And it's so humbling to be used by God in such small ways.
Well, you are an inspiration, just how you've survived, how you really forgave and did the hard work of getting through all the trauma that you experienced, and now making a difference in the world. Thank you so much for coming today to share your story.
Thank you so very much. Hope you're still with us. Yeah.
And if you want to find out more about Oliver's powerful story, you can read it in his book, Still With Us. You can find that at Amazon.ca. I know you'll be encouraged by the journey he took for healing. That's available to every single one of us. And you know, I know that forgiveness is a huge challenge, but every one of us at some point in our life is going to face a situation where it's going to be hard to forgive. And I know from personal experience that that journey involves making a choice. Sometimes it's daily for a year or 2 years. But you know, if you work with God and he works in you, you do get to a place where you have freedom and healing, and that's all available to every one of us. Can we encourage you on that journey? If you need someone to talk to, we'd love to help you with that. You can give our prayer lines a call at 1-866-273-4444. That's why we're here. We'll be right back.